Certainly the program can be a challenge for your family members and your friends. I think the trick is to, as with anything, make the time that you spend with those people quality time and not shoot for quantity. So, my advice is when you're spending time with your family and your friends, put school away, shut it off, try to forget about it. Same thing with work. Shut it off and try to forget about it, and give your attention and be present to your family and friends so that they will feel as though they're part of the experience. The other thing is to bring them to the events that are hosted at school so that they get a sense of the community and the environment, and they meet your classmates and they have faces with names when you do talk about things. So I think that was another key part of the adjustment, and Anderson provides you ample opportunity to involve your family, your friends, your significant others. So I think that's another piece of advice. And then I think, figuring out what your personal priorities are. And for me, there wasn't anything that was going to be more important to me than my family or my friends. And that included school. So while school was very important to me, there were times where it just had to take a second.
I would say one of the most important things about family and friends is just kind of letting them know what the time expectation is up front. And for my husband, he was just so happy for me to be going back to school. In fact, he learned kind of alongside with me. I can think of my second year, just looking back, and he was kind of at a crisis point at work, and I was taking this class that really spoke to what he was going through at work. And I mean, it was like he was getting his little honorary MBA with me. And so I think that really made it worthwhile for him, as he really did get to participate. And they also came to some of the functions here. They had family and friend events, and so we got to meet other people's families and friends. So I think that was important. And then another thing, I've always kind of had an outlook when I'm going to school that, I still have to balance all of my life. So school, family, friends, and some days I'd get up, I could study 12 hours a day for what I had to do for UCLA. And the reality was at 4 o'clock I was stopping and I was going out for dinner, or I was doing something else with my time just to relax. And so I think if you kind of just look at it that, school is important, give it your all. But yeah, don't forget that nighttime, or set aside some time where you can go and just kind of relax and wind down and not have to think too much about school.
I think along those lines, one of the other challenges I had was remembering to take time for myself. So everybody got theirs. And then I realized probably about 6 months in that I was exhausted, drained. I just didn't feel good. And then I realized that I hadn't been scheduling my own time. And I think finding a way, and for me what I wound up doing is, I don't actually like to exercise, but it makes me feel good. So I finally figured out how to incorporate reading on the bike with exercising. So it was a way to take some time and do something that ultimately would make me feel good and not feel like I was cheating someone else or taking it away from school.